Hey crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and it has certainly been a week and certainly have a week coming ahead. I tell you what, things have just been crazy. I was under the weather for a good part of last week, so that made work very challenging at times. Then on top of it, just trying to get some projects done and get things done for work. And then just then feeling better so I could catch up and try to recoup all the time I lost, which, we just never get that back. We know that, right? So it has been certainly a week behind me. I am glad to say that week is done. Looking forward to the week ahead, especially tomorrow because I took a personal business day tomorrow. So I am going to stay home and play hooky for a bit. And so as a result, I will just kind of hang out and work on projects and see how things are going and kind of get things caught up and figure out from that point forward. So welcome in. If you're new to the channel, this is about as good as it gets. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a new subscriber. Just amazed at the numbers and how we keep attracting and growing, and so appreciate each and every one of you. And tonight we have Russ with us. Thanks, Russ. Quilt Meets World is here. Inez has been here. She was busy on some chats and comments this week. So thanks for watching and thanks for commenting. Joydy's here. Hey, Joydy, welcome in. Thanks for being with us tonight. Katie Crafts is here. Hey, Katie, welcome in. So just trying to catch up, get ahead. I've got a couple of things to show you that I actually did get something done. So that's always fun and amazing when you're able to get things worked out. Then we'll work on some other things. Tonight, I am still working on this purple quilt. And part of the problem is I only sew it really during the live. So hopefully we will get the blocks made. This all came pre-cut. Of course, I'm a purple freak. So really excited, but had no idea how many blocks I had to sew. But they're coming out together really nice. I just need to press them, make sure they don't need to be trimmed. But I really do like the way this is going to look. The problem is I'm just not overly motivated to get this one done because I've got so many other projects in the works. So I think I'm just kind of bouncing project to project, but that's not to say we're not going to sew and work on this tonight. I had hoped to oil the machine tonight. Oh, there it is. And so we will maybe give the machine a little oil time and a little attention as well, because those machines kind of like that attention. And I'm not big. I'm curious what you all think about oiling the machines and that. I'm cautious about over oiling it, but I'm also aware that they need the proper amount of oil. So we will make sure that we keep those things going. Hey, Jeannie, thanks for being here tonight. Hey, Dale, welcome in. Thanks for being here. So just lots of things going on. I actually have the second camera since we're back in the YouTube studio. The camera down here works for the second camera, which just absolutely drives me bonkers because I have no idea why the camera at Shady Pines, the second camera, won't work up there. It just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But it is what it is. And as a result, I just deal with what I can deal with. So struggled last weekend trying to get that camera to work. It was absolutely not going to happen. So it is what it is. But this week I have the second camera working. So I am going to jump over and turn on the second camera and show you some of the binding that I was able to get knocked out this week, which was pretty exciting. Let me find my button. Hey, Katrina, welcome in. Jacksonville, love Jacksonville. That's always a fun time down there. When I was on the East Coast, the Virginia Tech Hokies, when they actually had a football program, used to play in the New Year's Eve game down there several years. So Jacksonville was always such a host, amazing city to be part of, especially over the New Year's Eve time frame. Hey, Judy, welcome in from Northern California, from Oroville. Nice, very nice. I bet your weather up there is turning cooler, and I bet it is pretty amazing right now. So I did get some quilting done this week. I am so excited. I actually got this panel done, which turned out much smaller than I anticipated, but I actually have binding done, and you all, I have not, I don't think, put binding on a quilt this year. So this was really a big deal to me, getting this panel done. It turned out much smaller, so it's definitely going to be more of a decorative panel, but that's fine. This is my work from start to finish. It is, for lack of better claim, it is mine, from quilting it to squaring it to binding it to actually putting it in the washer. This has got a little bit of that thinner Pellon type um, batting, and I'm not. I definitely want something that's got a little bit more poof in that to it. So I am trying to just kind of run through this. That was one of the two Christmas panels I did. This one actually trimmed out a little bit bigger by the time I got it squared. I ended up doing the same binding on it, but again, just really glad to have that done. So pretty excited that I have the two Christmas panels done. They are ready to do whatever it is we decide to do with them, whether they're going to charity, if I might just send them to one of the kids to hang on the wall. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with them. They're definitely test pieces. They're not what I would consider the work that I expect to turn out, but um, it was fun getting things done. This one I am much more proud of, very happy with the way this turned out. Um, so very happy with the way that got done. Real happy with the binding on this one. I think that binding just really goes with this overall. I think it definitely goes with that pumpkin pattern that I used. And you all know I have the little store called the Quilting Guys. This one actually got a personal Quilting Guys label on it. So I was kind of happy with that. So overall, really, really happy with this one. I think I have 5 more that still need binding, but I tell you what, to get this much done in a couple of days after being down and out really made me feel good. And so I am pretty psyched to now just work on the other ones. I did actually order custom labels the other day, and they just shipped because I decided, I think instead of putting the Quilting Guys on labels on those quilts going forward, I think I'd really like to have Guys Craft 2. So I actually ordered Guys Craft 2 labels, and those actually shipped today. I was surprised how quick they got them done. So I am very excited, very glad to see some things actually getting accomplished, some things getting moved over, and actually making Gracie earn her money, and some of the other machines. So it was nice to cut binding. The first one I did, the fall one actually is the first one I did of the 3, and I ended up doing a 2.5-inch binding on it, and decided I really don't like 2.5-inch, so I did 2.25 on the other, and I think I do like the 2.25 better. But we'll see. I just need to keep playing with it and figure out what works for John. Dale says, perfect background. Thank you. Joy heading to North Carolina in a couple of weeks for a long weekend, Katrina says. So you ought to have some beautiful weather. Too bad it's going to be a few weeks because I don't know. Joy would have to tell us how the leaves are changing down there. You know, I like to think by mid-October they're hitting their stride. But I've been in Virginia where it's the 2nd or 3rd week of November before it really seems like the fall leaves have really changed and gotten to those beautiful fall colors that we all talk about. Jody says, wow, John, nice. You've been busy. Absolutely. Katrina's headed to Mooresville area. I used to work just outside of Charlotte myself. It's been a while. And it says it's wonderful to get all those done, right? Susan, I ordered the labels actually off of Amazon. If I don't have a pen in here with me tonight, I will try to make a note and post that later for you. But it is a group that I've ordered from a couple of times. And I've been really happy with their labels. I've been happy with the way they wash up. And they weren't very expensive. I think I got 200 labels for $20, I think is what it was. So I didn't think that was that expensive for custom labels and that. So I will try to get that information and remember to post that for you. Oh, Joy, look at Joy always being so southern and hospitable. How nice is that? Hey, Candace, welcome in. Thanks for being here. So kind of a crazy just crazy time, just trying to figure out. I will have to admit, it's taken me longer. So I've actually picked the fabrics that I want to do the binding on for all the other quilts. So now I just got to get that cut, spliced, all that stuff put together. And then, um, um, ironed, pressed, all that kind of stuff. It really surprised me that I have to stop in. I think for one particular quilt, I think I pulled 8 different fabrics off the shelf before I even got close to it. And then, like once you pick the fabric, you get it all ready and you're ready to go sew it. Then you got to go back and look at um, thread, right? So I thought, wow, people just don't really appreciate and understand. We go through a lot to make sure that things look the way that we want them to, that they appreciate what they're getting, all that kind of stuff. I still have Christmas gifts that I need to work on. What I am working on right now are not particularly gifts. They may end up being donations or something, but I do have some actual gifts that I need to work on, and I want to get those done. But I purposely wanted to I want to get my skills up a little bit before I finish doing some of the gifts. So we'll see. So we'll see how tomorrow works out. The plan is to really work on getting the rest of the bindings done, getting those put together, making that look the way that I need it to look, and then moving forward. So that could be pretty interesting. I did not realize I had the wrong thread color on here to do piecing tonight. So we are going to see if John can actually talk, host a live, change threads, and do all those things at the same time, because I typically like to have all my machines prepped and ready to go so you all don't see some of the struggles that I go through. But that's okay. I know you all have some of your own, and so that's fine too. I will say the one thing that drives me nuts on this machine is the fact that this machine, the needle thread from left to right. I do think Juki has a horrible automatic threader. I've never quite figured it out, but I may end up down at the Tucson Quilt Show. We've talked about going down there. If that's the case, I may find if one of the Juki dealers are there and see if they can really educate me enough to make me learn how to use this silly threader. I will say I absolutely love the one that's on my Viking Epic 2, where you just wrap it around a little piece and push a button and it does everything and it never misses. That never seems to be the case with me and this Juki. This Juki does everything else amazing. Why they couldn't have upgraded this new platinum collector's edition, yada yada yada. They and not put a better thread mechanism on here is just beyond me. But you know what, Juki didn't call and ask me. But if they did, I would be glad to share my opinions and observations with them. But we'll see how that goes. I did want to talk to you all about the holiday solo along, holiday quilting bee we've got coming up. So that is going to be November 11th. It is going to be 3 hours long. I did pull some gifts. So we will be doing some giveaways that day. So if you're able to jump in and be part of it, that would be amazing. If you're off that day, if you're not, call in sick and just play hooky like some other people. Um, but we will do giveaways that day. I will have it appears that there might be a couple of guests that end up dropping in for a while during the holiday quilting bee. And so at this point, I'm not going to announce who those are. We may just make them surprise guests. But if you were there for Labor Day, I think we had a great time. I will tell you the chat was amazing that day. I so appreciate each and all of you. I love my YouTube family. And at the same time, I think we had such a good time just on a holiday, just doing what we do best, right? Just enjoying being together. So that was fun. And so the plan is to do that again. And wow, I thought this was so far off, but I think it's dead on. All right. Um, but if you're able to be there, that will be great. So we have the holiday quilting bee coming up November 11th. It will be from 8 a.m. to 11 on Arizona time. I am not sure when the rest of the country is changing clocks. So right now, East Coast is 3 hours difference. I'm not sure what that's going to look like on November 11th. I'm not sure if we will have fallen back by then or not, but just keep that in mind as you're looking to possibly join in. I am doing a Villa Rosa Quilts of Valor design. I chose the Farmhouse Blues design to do. I think it will turn out to be a really nice design in that. I am doing a patriotic design since it is Veterans Day. You absolutely do not have to do that design. You don't have to work on anything with us. You can tune in and just listen for the drawings and things like that. Listen to who the guests are and what some of the chats are, or choose to work on a project with us, or bring your own project and just hang out, or just bring your coffee or beverage of choice and just be here. And so I like to say, be here, be square, right? Isn't that what we said back in our generation? So it's really just about us having fun together, getting to spend some time together, and me having the excuse to have everyone kind of hang out with us. Hey, Gene, you are never late to my channel. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for jumping on. So that was Jen. Ines, Ines says I call it multitasking. Um, oh, Jen and Jean, look at you. Okay, thank you both for being here. Yes, and Russ says he is not a guest that day. He's working that day, and I am very sad because I did want Russ to be on the channel that day with me. But we have a few others coming up that we may be able to rope him into. Because I will say, I will tell you, I had a blast on Labor Day, but for 3 hours hosting by yourself can be a long time. But I have to admit too, it's kind of nice to have that much control, right? So the whole show was me and what I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, um, it did go much faster than I anticipated. Dale says November 3rd. I think Veterans Day is November 11th. I hope it is. Trina says I need to check my leftover from another to make sure that I have enough fabric to go with that panel. That's yes, absolutely. I am trying not to do as much. Oh, November 3rd is the time, fall time change. Thank you. Susan goes, I get an extra hour. Yeah, we don't get that extra hour in Arizona. We're the only state that actually never changes time, although it feels like we do because I have to keep up with the rest of the country that doesn't change time. I think it's still crazy that in this day and age we're still playing with the clock, but the government didn't ask me about that as well, but it's all good. Um, but I think we will have fun. I think it will be a interesting day. We'll do some different things for sure. I will tell you, I am going to post a video this week, maybe tomorrow, probably be Tuesday morning. We had Black Bag at my favorite store this week, and so I did end up going to Black Bag. I decided that I skipped it last month because I knew if I went that I would end up buying stuff that I really didn't need. Um, this month I couldn't help myself. I went anyways, and guess what? I bought stuff that I really didn't need, but you know, it is what it is. I will tell you one of the things that's hard for me to miss Black Bag is because now that I want to actually start doing my quilting and getting those done, they actually on Black Bag weekend they run 108 fabric. We get one cut of fabric at 40% off. So it's whatever. So I end up going, oh, I've got black bobbin in here, folks. How crazy is that? John, you know better than that. All right. So now I got to change the bobbin and you all get to see if I can actually do it and talk at the same time. Um, but so when you get 40% off that 108 fabric, you almost can't afford not to go. So that's why I went, was so I could get 3 yards of something. I really liked it. The local store out here is actually carrying a lot more 108 than they used to. Our store out here doesn't carry near what the main store does because it's a tenth of the size of the main store. But I really have to be in the right mood to drive to the main store for two reasons. The main store is about a good 30 minutes away. By the time I do that 3 days a week for work, it's just not something that makes me real motivated to do on the weekend. And the main store is probably the size of, I say, an old Rose's department store, but it's probably more like the size of like an original Walmart or something like that. And the issue with that is I can't walk into that store and just not spend entirely too much money. I already have no self control, as you all know. So to go down there on a Black Bag weekend just makes it worse because they just, they carry stuff that I don't get to see because I just won't go down there very often. And I know the crew down there so well. They're all have always treated me so great with such dignity, respect. I like Jackie. I like Jack. There's quite a few down there that just are super, super nice folks. And but all of them seem to be able to help me find stuff that I just can't live without. And so it's usually better if I avoid that store. So I have not been in that location since Christmas in July was the last time that I went down there. And my goal is to probably not go back down there. I would say I'd probably go back down there the end of the year because they always have some nice end of the year sales. But fortunately, I will be with Rob Appel at his quilting retreat, which should help me save money, folks. Because that should be the goal, right? That should be what we talk about for 2025. We should talk about how we're going to cut back, rescue less fabric, um, work more from our stash. So I say that, and once you see what I purchased this weekend, you'll just shake your head and go, "Man, he's just all talk." But I am trying. I really am trying. The one thing I really need to work on is I need to find a really good pattern to work on my Tula Pinks. But right now, I think I'm working just to get a lot of the Christmas, a lot of these Villa Rosa kits and things done that I bought, and just kind of working on what I consider more practice things for me, I guess, because I really want to. When I cut into that Villa Rosa and that, I want to make sure that my skills are ready and that I knock it out of the park when I do one of their patterns. Because you know what, um, that that fabric just deserves a lot of respect, right? Let's see. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Thanks for being here tonight. Hey, Danielle, thanks for being here. Always fun to see Danielle. Her channel has been so alive. See, I tried to pull this out, right? This is my emotional support animal. So, this was the closest that I could grab today for Halloween because I watched Danielle and I'm like, oh, I am so jealous. She's got her Halloween going. She always has some different outfits. She always has so many guests in that alive. So, it's always fun. If you haven't been catching her channel, you need to jump over and see what she is doing because she's got some fun things going on as well. And um, see, even Joydy agrees with me, Russ. Russ should just play hooky. But the problem is, Russ has been hooky for the last week because he took his birthday week off, which must be a nice opportunity, nice bonus. And if you did not see what spoiled Russ in Atlanta got from his sister, you need to tune in to his channel and watch the replay because his sister absolutely does know him. She absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. And I am completely jealous. I would love to have had a sister like Russ has that would treat me so well and know me so well, right? I mean, it was pretty. I think old Spoiled there had a pretty good birthday week. So, and that's fine, right? Because he's a great guy and he deserves every bit of that too. Katrina says, I get bonus hours. Gabby will be kenneled at the vet. No 4 a.m. wake up from Halloween to November 3rd. We'll pick her up on Monday, November 4th. Wow. Tell you what, I love my dogs, but I remember that you do operate on their schedule. It's just like having children, right? And you know what? If I'm going to have a dog, I want them to be spoiled. So that's cool too. Hey, Candace, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Russ says, don't rescue fabric. Have you seen how I was enabled this weekend? Yes, I tell you what. Russ has had certainly a big week. Danielle says, oh, I love that shirt. Thank you. Hey, Danielle, all good. We can talk offline tomorrow, and I did get your email, so thank you. And I will definitely follow back up with you. Susan says, birthday week. Wow, that must be nice. I wouldn't know, Susan. You know, some people are just live the life, and it's nice that some of them can be. And Joydy says, yes, his sister did spoil him for sure. So, but it must be nice to have that tight a family and that. I come from a really small family, so I just don't have that type of relation. Uh, Never did. So for me, my spoiling comes typically from my niece, who is just amazing and does spoil me. And then my daughter. Although I will tell you, it just cracks me up. So number one, my daughter doesn't watch the channel, so it's okay. I can talk about her all I want. I asked her the other day, my namesake, Ava Lynn, that you all saw from the beach this year. Her birthday is coming up. She will be 6, and she's a complete and utter handful. So I text my daughter. We text almost every day. We probably talk um, once a week or so, but we text every day, it seems like. So I texted her and said, hey, what does Ava Lynn want for her birthday? You know, it's coming up in November. I want to make sure I get stuff ordered before the cruise. And she goes, I'll send you, I can send you the Amazon list, but I know you don't like the Amazon list, which is true. So I do ask her to give me a list of ideas and that because I'm not with the kids every day. I don't get to see them that often. So it's hard for me to keep up with trends and that and what they might want. But then my daughter sends me an Amazon list, and to me, that's a That's a perception and an idea of what's going on in her life, of things that she may or may not like. And so from that, I use that as a springboard to go out and buy whatever Papa John wants the kids to have. So my daughter's not wrong when it comes to that. So we get into this big, huge discussion that apparently my daughter, who was spoiled rotten growing up, who literally at one point announced she only liked Coach purses, so she had like 6 or 8 of them lined up in her closet and all of that, tells me, one of the things she had thought about getting my granddaughter was an American Girl doll because she's never had one. She wanted one her entire life, but she didn't get one. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And I was like, you know what, girlfriend? I mean, you gotta be kidding me, right? So, needless to say, my granddaughter, it arrived already, is getting a American Girl doll from me for her birthday, which now makes it nice, right? Because now I can buy outfits and do all that, um, and kind of keep that series going for her for a little bit. Mama, my daughter ended up buying her the bed and a few things to go with it. So, it'll be nice, right? Because it's kind of a go to. We just have to make sure we don't duplicate stuff. But again, that will be fun. I am going to send Spoiled for her birthday in January the American Girl kit that she apparently has wanted for 30 years and just never got, and has been neglected and done without. So that will be her birthday present this year. So mother and daughter can play with their dolls together and just live the American dream. So, but it's just funny what your kids will tell you sometimes. And that's okay because I I believe if I had children, I should have spoiled them. I did, and but I don't think you can ever spoil them too much. And since my daughter thinks you're supposed to spoil your father, it kind of all works out in the wash. Yes, and please don't put in the chat that I'm supposed to chain piece because I know I'm supposed to chain piece. I am just not there yet. Oh, Danielle had to jump off. Sorry, Danielle. Thanks for dropping in, though. Katrina says, my son asked for a soft air pistol for all 3 kids. I found out what one costs. They have to share mercy. Mike picked up the other items to go with. I tell you what, I don't care what anyone wants to say and talk about with the election and everything going on in that. I am not a political person. My political rant is if you don't vote and exercise your right to do so, then keep your mouth shut because it cracks me up people that want to complain about the state of the country or this and that, blah, 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 and then they don't vote. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have any respect for that. If you're going to complain, at least vote. Um, anyways, off that soapbox. It just cracks me up. I mean, the state of, where everything has gotten so ridiculously expensive. I'm like, okay, I know my dad used to say the same thing, but let me tell you, it just seems like in the last 8 to 10 years, the prices have just gotten way out of line. Susan says, buy your daughter the American Girl doll. Already happening. She's going to get that check mark this year. So oh, Jody, I never even thought about that. What a great idea. Yeah, I'll need to get some measurements in that, but that really would be cute to make a cute quilt to go with that. Actually, and I could do write a series, right? Except my granddaughter, I think sleeps in a queen bed. Of course she does. 'Cause it would be fun for them to have matching bed quilts and that, but we may have to figure something out. I'm not sure that I'm going to put all that effort into the granddaughter's bed, but maybe she can get a nice throw, more like a lap quilt for her bed, and then the actual American Girl size for her daughter's bed. So it's a great idea. Don't know that I'll get that done before January, before Christmas. It might be too close for me to be able to knock all that out. But what I might be able to do is I always spend Easter with them every year. So when I go up for Easter, it might be really fun to have a cute spring quilt that they would both be able to share and use for watching TV and things like that. So that is a great idea. Again, see, that's why I love my YouTube family. I had not even thought about that. So another gift idea, because I really am into trying to make memories for my grandkids and that, and really trying to do more homemade gifts. I mean, it's great, and I'm glad that I got the American Girl doll. I know she's going to love it. She'll be ecstatic over that. But the nice thing, one of the nice things is, right, we could do the clothes and other things that would make it special to her own doll because homemade. Unfortunately, I do not do clothing. I have not figured out how to do clothing. Adam Sews is still driving me nuts because he made that Tula pink sweatshirt. Apparently, he made several now. He's made sweatpants, all of that out of that Tula minky. Um, I still just want to get this sweatshirt done, but we'll see. I do have friends in the quilt club that have sewn apparel for years, and I know a couple of the ladies that are more than willing to help me um, figure out a sweatshirt and put one together. I just need to find the time to really devote to doing that and spending time with them. So that is on the list. 'Cause I really do. There's just something about his sweatshirt and that and the way it turned out. I think it was really, really just so cute. Susan said, "Could have, would have, should have. Wish we had no over." I so get it. And that's it's funny you say that because my daughter was telling me the other day. I was like, I can't believe I've got a granddaughter that's in first grade, a grandson that's in kindergarten, blah blah blah. And she's like, "How would you like to be, me? Like, yeah, I." And I was like, in a way, I would, honey. I mean, you know, you hear from everybody, enjoy it, cherish it, and that because it goes faster than you think. And I will say, there were times sitting on the bleachers watching a basketball game that just thought, you know what, this is my life, right? This is all I do is come sit on a hardwood bleacher for hours, multiple times a week. And, a lot of times I just wanted to be home, but I wanted to be there to support my kids and watch the game. And now I wish I had those games to go to. So, it does come full circle. That's the worst thing with living so far away is I don't get to participate in some of that part of their life. So I do miss it. I know it says same in Canada, so expensive. I tell you what, I think Canada is even more expensive. I know every time I travel up there across the border, I'm just shocked at some of the prices. Jordy says she went to McDonald's on Friday. Becky, thank you so much, Vera Weeks. Thanks for being here. Thank you. I tell you what, it was a crazy week and not at all what I anticipated. And I am so glad to be on the upswing again. Jordy said, I ordered French fries, was told $4 for a small fries. I canceled it, bought a potato for 59 cents. Amen, sister. I will tell you, I went to McDonald's a few weeks ago up in Shady Pines. It's been probably 3 or 4 months. All I wanted was the old fashioned cheeseburger, uh, small fries that come in a little paper bag, and I think I got a drink. And they told me it was like $9, almost $10, and I was like, "No, I just want a small fry, a little bitty cheeseburger." And the woman looked at me like I had 3 heads and was like, "Yep, we understood the order." And yes, I realized I think there the fries, a small bag of fries was 3.79, and I was like, "Yep, never again." It is I just I cannot get I don't understand how people with children and have multiple children, I go in and get behind and there's 7 of them standing in, and I don't know how you all afford this. I had good jobs and no, I couldn't afford those type of prices. Ines says Adam Sows is very talented. He is. He is such a nice guy. I've mentioned him a few times. I've commented on his some of his channel. He always emails back to say very encouraging things. Right. I've talked about wanting to do some of the bags and that. He's a big proponent. Start with Bianni, start with this bag, look at this, understand that. Again, we are so blessed and fortunate to have such the YouTube family that we do. And I know you all may get tired of me saying it, but it is just really nice how we can support one another. Katrina says, I was taking my oldest grandson when they were here for a wedding. I told him in 4 years he could help dad with the driving, right? It is just crazy how fast these kids. Jordy says, I was thinking little quilts for their dolls, but you could do, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that, right? So, Lord, you could do like 2 blocks almost would make a doll quilt. And no, no, you've given me a lot to think about, Jordy. That is such a great idea. Katrina says you should have got the kids' meal. And it used to be they would help suggest things and all that. Nowadays, they just don't care. Um, yes, they got rid of the dollar menu. I think it's a $5 menu now. Russ says you get free fries from McDonald's on Friday from their app. And again, everything's gone to the apps, and you have to fool with their apps and do all that. It's like, yeah, just no, I'm not doing that. Candace says I could spend about $10 eat at a decent sit-down restaurant versus fast food through my son. I absolutely agree. We ate at Chili's here locally because they have a 3 for $10.99 menu. You get chips and salsa, you get a soup or salad, you get a choice of either 2 hamburgers or a fried chicken sandwich with fries and your beverage for $10.99. It's like, you know what? I can't afford not to eat there. Yeah, I've got to throw the tip on top, but still, McDonald's and them to me are just outpricing themselves. I can't afford. I could afford to eat there. I choose not to because I want to support my sewing habit, and so I have other things I want to spend money on besides that. Candace says you used to get a bag of tacos at Taco Bell for $5. Don't think you could buy 2 for that now. Nope, I totally agree with that. In fact, the other day I wanted tacos so badly, I ended up breaking down, going to the store, buying ground turkey, taco shells. I think I got some lettuce off the salad bar. So I ended up making my own and bringing it home, and making it myself because I thought, you know what, anymore, the food doesn't even taste right anymore. And plus, Taco Bell scares me when they decided that instead of having ground beef tacos, they had taco meat tacos. It's like, yeah, see that right there tells me it's crazy. Jody says, and you have an embroidery aching machine you can embroider dolls on the quilts. Even better, EMB Library had window pane embroidery items on sale this weekend. I think the sale ended last night. Of course, they all are extended. For $14, I ended up getting a 6-pane window choo-choo train, Christmas train. I ended up having to go buy all the stupid thread because I didn't have the thread, but it is absolutely the cutest pattern. And Husky over there doesn't realize it, but he's going to start pumping out some things on his 10 needles in the next couple of weeks. So as soon as I can get them, get the thread in, I want to get those knocked out. I would really love to have that for Christmas this year. If it stitches nice and that like I like, I may end up doing that for the 2026 quilt show because I really would like to be in our guild quilt show in 26. And so I feel like I have another year to really get my skills together. Embroidery is probably one of the areas that I feel like I can compete a little bit better. Um, and I probably won't share a lot of information on the channel because I would prefer to keep what I end up, the patterns and stuff that I decide to enter for myself. I will be entering, obviously it's nice because I just this month hitting my 2nd year of quilting. So, but interesting enough, the way our guild works, if you've never entered a quilt show, they consider you a novice. So you may have been quilting for 40 years and have amazing skills. and me as a novice, that's who I get to compete with. So it's a little disheartening that um, the way they do it. So I want to be careful about what I choose and how I would decide to go into the show, because I know my skills are not where they need to be. I am working really hard to, hold the quarter-inch seam, to press things out, to, take my time, do things right. And then, but when you start competing against folks that have done this for, 30 years, but yet they get to be a novice because they've just never been in a show, and that's a little disheartening. But it is what it is. They didn't ask me to write the rules or put them together, and that's fine. I do want to look at doing some other quilt shows than that. I may end up um, looking more up in the Shady Pines area, and that it may be more that I need to look at some of the other guilds and look at their rules and that, and think about how I want to get out there. But I definitely would like to start getting a little bit more judgment and um, a little pressure on myself, if that makes sense, to make sure that I'm stitching out just the way I need to versus just getting it done, which has kind of been the philosophy. I kind of feel like the stack that I'm working on is that way, and I don't want to continue that type of philosophy moving forward. So, as such, I want to start really taking this more as a craft and an art and taking it a little bit serious. And that's why I have not looked at doing the my Christmas ones yet, the gifts. I want to get through that stack that I have, get all that done with binding. Because I mean, when you look at some of the things that like Russ is showing that he's had on the quilt, on the porch, and the one sample that he did for the local shop, and that, I mean, he does amazing work. You look at what Ian does and some of those guys, and you look at Don. I mean, Sean just showed some things that he did for the Virginia Fair. And so I'm not sure that I want to participate in the Arizona Fair. I probably will, just because it's my state. I don't think we have a very nice quilt show compared to some other states, but at the end of the day, it's still my state. And I, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of supporting your state, supporting local. And so at some point, we'll probably end up doing that as well. It's really nice because when I was down at my favorite quilt store yesterday, the store manager is just amazing. She's such a sweetheart, always so willing to help show me and do things. Um, and she is probably one that I would go to help give me some advice and guidance maybe on some different shows. And they had actually kept a running list of different shows around the Phoenix area in that, and where I might be able to get some things in, or because it would be nice, right? Everybody wants, right, on your channel, everybody wants the YouTube plaque in the back. I'm a long, long way from getting anything from YouTube. And at the same time, it'd be nice to have at least a couple of ribbons hanging in the background, like some of those other YouTube creators do. But you know what? I am fortunate and blessed to have what I have. I am having a blast doing this. I enjoy each and every one of you being here, and that's enough for me. It's not about awards and recognition. The award for me would just be that I've actually improved my skills enough that I've reached a level that I can somewhat compete. Uh, Jody says, definitely, especially Mexican. So it is so funny you say that, because I was just telling someone the other day that people used to make fun of me at work because they would tell people, go ask John what tonight is. Everybody in the office knew. I worked in a pretty big office, but everybody knew that Friday night back in the day was Fajita Friday with Hawaii 5-0. I never missed Hawaii 5-0. And I had fajitas every Friday from a restaurant called La Carreta. I think fajitas there were like 10, 10.99, and that was chicken or steak. I always got mixed. They also had shrimp fajitas, but I think they were like 12.99. I think it was $2 more if you wanted the shrimp. And I've never cared for seafood as much in my Mexican food, but I love Mexican food. I could eat it every day of the week. That said, um, we have a nice Mexican restaurant here. I liked it. I was really trying to support it. They have a very limited menu, which does not include fajitas. And I think it was last year sometime they actually put in beautiful new menus, and I think their prices went up like 20%. And I was like, I can't afford to eat here anymore. I'm not spending that kind of money um, on Mexican food. Fortunately for me, we a local restaurant chain called Filiberto's opened up here, so I do go to Filiberto's occasionally. And Filiberto's is not cheap, but their quantities are massive. So I finally figured out that they actually have what they call a junior menu, and I order off the junior menu because if you get one of their burritos, it's probably this big around. Literally, it's an it's almost a gross amount of food. It was like, dude, I couldn't eat this in 3 days. And so I finally figured out they have a junior menu, which works better for me. Um, so I do like that. If I really just am really dying for good Mexican, I do have one now down the street called Don Rubens, and I do like that. And I really do want to get down there and get fajitas soon. But I actually have a recipe for sheet pan fajitas, and it's actually really good, and I really enjoy those. I buy the diced chicken out of the meat department at the grocery that I don't like to go to. They also have what they call a fajita mix in the meat department, which is sliced green red peppers, onions, and then I add mushrooms to it and that. Stir all that up with a good sauce, throw it on a sheet pan for about 18 minutes. It comes out amazing. And so I need to get stuff to make that this week because it has been a long time since I've had that. I'll probably do it when I get back from the cruise just to make sure that I am completely back to normal before I start going off the rails too much. Um, oh, Bill says, Candace, I got two regular tacos was 369. So not so bad then. But unfortunately, if you're all like my Taco Bell, only half the shell's got something in it. I remember the last couple of times I went to Taco Bell, it was like, I think y'all missed adding some things into this shell. Just crazy. Yeah, Candace says, yes, Mexican restaurants are crazy expensive around me. Meal for three, no alcohol. The bill was $60. See, I don't know what happened because all of our Mexican restaurants back in Virginia, they were hot, fresh, fast. I mean, I loved eating at the Mexican restaurants and they were inexpensive. I mean, you could get the, lunch for like 6.99. And I mean, I'm sure it's just like everything else, right? Everything's gone up. I get that. Yeah. Jordy says always go for lunch specials. They're $10 or always more for sure. Yeah, you're right. Look at Jordy. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. Your quilts are definitely winners, John. Thank you, Jordy. I so appreciate you. Hey, Jackie, DVD Stitch Art is here. Thanks for being in the house tonight. Trina says the cantina here has chicken, steak, shrimp fajitas, enough food for 3 meals for me. Ate the shrimp there, brought the chicken and steak home. Amen, girl. I tell you. Russ does like Filiberto's. I always thought if I said Filiberto's enough that someone would make it to QuiltCon this year or in 2025. It is not happening, so I had to back off that a little bit because I know he's got two big commitments up north next year, so it really does make it tough on him. But I would have really liked to have my Russ time in Phoenix in February, but it didn't happen this year, and that's okay. Russ says he's stuck under a spoiled puppy. He's always stuck under that spoiled puppy on Sunday nights. I can tell you where that Russ is. Oh, Jackie says she's having enchiladas for Thanksgiving. Oh, how nice is that? I have yet to decide what I'm doing for Thanksgiving this year. We will be doing a holiday quilting bee. It will probably be 8 to 11. I will have a design and all that, and I will have an announcement out probably just after Thanksgiving, just after Halloween, probably just when I get back from the cruise. We'll talk about that and get that figured out. Hope everyone can be part of that as well. But I do want to make sure I don't, um, I don't want to get too far in front of Thanksgiving with in Veterans Day coming up, so I don't want to confuse the two. But I do want to do some more of the holiday quilting bees. I think it's great that we all get to be together. I'm actually thinking that instead of cooking this year, I may spoil myself. Last year, I had a house of, I had 2 tablefuls with personalized name tags and all that kind of stuff, which was great. I enjoy hosting. I am not hosting this year. I know that for sure. Interesting enough, I haven't been invited anywhere either. But I'm actually thinking that I might just enjoy kind of having a quiet long weekend to myself. I've thought about sneaking up to Shady Pines, depending on the weather, because they do have a potluck for the residents up there for Thanksgiving. Also thought about going to like one of the local groceries and getting their turkey dinner and just maybe supplementing it. And then someone suggested the other day just getting turkey breast and throwing it in the crock pot. So I haven't quite made up my mind, but I know when I get back from the cruise, I really need to make up my mind because I want to make sure that I have the stuff that I want. And I know things sell out fairly quick. I do know that I will have to make my dressing because no one makes dressing the way I make it because I don't like sage in my dressing. I don't like meat in my dressing. So some things like that. So I will be doing some, even if I eat out, I will probably end up making some of my own sides and that to go with it. Hey, Landa, you are never late. Be glad to have you watch the replay as well, but it's always just me and just rattling on a Sunday afternoon. Dale says Riley is not spoiled. Gabby's on the footrest of the recliner. There you go. That's different, Jackie. Do you have a good recipe to share if you make them yourself? Oh, look at Katie from the Greenland Quilter. Hey, Katie. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for being here. Katrina says they may end up at Cracker Barrel. We have Boston Market, and one year that I moved into the last house before this one, we actually moved Thanksgiving week and ended up doing Boston Market for Thanksgiving. Apparently, half of Phoenix did as well. They actually had extra refrigerated trucks in that sitting in the parking lot. We ended up getting there at like the perfect time. I think there was like 6 people ahead of us in line or something. It wasn't anything crazy. And but by the time we left, I think they were lined up down the street again. I think we ate at like 2:30 or something. Tried to kind of hit that sweet spot. And it was like $14 for turkey dressing. I think you got 2 vegetables, your drink, a pie. I think that was it. But I thought for what we got, the amount of food, uh, and the flavor taste of it was pretty good. The problem for me, I'll be honest, is I miss leftovers. So Thanksgiving meal to me is great, and I like Thanksgiving. But I'll be honest, I like Thanksgiving Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that is so much more my thing is the being able to just grab all the leftovers out of the fridge for a few days. I make corn pudding. I make corn pudding from uh, an old Southern recipe. It's not fried corn. It's not all this other stuff that people say. It's an old fashioned Kentucky recipe. Uh, so there's just certain foods like that that I have to have for Thanksgiving that I'm not going to be able to get replicated somewhere else. And so we'll just see. I have a broccoli casserole that I like to make. One of my favorite things is a cranberry salad. I have always loved cranberry salad, and that's always been like my go-to things for Thanksgiving. So I know I have to make that. So it's a cranberry relish that you put in Jello in that, which to me is just amazing. And now I've made myself hungry. So tonight for dinner, here is right before my live, I took my Pepperidge Farm pumpkin swirl bread and soaked it in a nice egg mixture. So tonight for dinner, because I just felt like being bad, I am having pumpkin French toast with bacon and red roasted potatoes and probably scrambled eggs. So just my opportunity to be bad after being down and out for a week and finally feeling like I can eat yet again. All right, let me catch up on the chat. Dale says he misses Boston Market. They don't have any here anymore. We've only got a couple. I really do miss Boston Market. To me, they were one of the few places that you could still go get a decent meat and vegetables. And at the time, it wasn't crazy expensive. I will admit it's been over a year since I've eaten there because we just don't have one on this side of town. It's a good 20, 25 minutes down the road. Oh, Jackie says she has a true Oxyconn enchilada recipe. Yes, find it for next week, please. I love Mexican. The Joy agrees. Leftovers are the best. Katrina says she misses her Boston Market. I don't know that I've ever had mole negro sauce. It'll be interesting to see that recipe. Oh, Katrina says mom made cranberry salad, but grandma made cranberry mousse. That's interesting. I will say, everybody talks about pumpkin and pumpkin spice and blah 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 about pumpkin. My go-to this time of year is cranberry. I love cranberry orange muffins. I love cranberry bread. I just enjoy cranberries. And interesting enough, I have yet to buy a bag of cranberries, and I usually buy 3 or 4. So I need to do that pretty soon. Oh, and Joydy, I bet, has an amazing cranberry recipe. So Joydy is going to share cranberry recipe with us next week. That would be amazing. Landis says she doesn't like sage in her dressing either. I like and make mine. See, mine's a southern cornbread dressing, and that's the only way to make it. Well, Jody says she had pumpkin Cheerios today for lunch. See, you are a girl after my own heart. That's just me. It's a life that we're leading, and it just makes it so special. Hey guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I am sorry I ran over just a little bit. I got my mouth a going, got to talking about food, and you've seen me stand up and show you quilts and that. And no, I do enjoy a good meal, although I am trying to work in the other direction too. But I do enjoy some good Southern cooking, and just makes life so much more fun, right? So I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, please hit that thumbs up. Tell your friends, neighbors to hit that subscribe button. Always enjoy the chat. I appreciate how much you all keep me motivated and keep things going. I will have a blog posted this week about the shopping spree from the weekend, just so you can kind of see some of the self-control I didn't have, but it is what it is. But as always, until next time, guys, happy crafting.